Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons. The Bisons have won 4 straight after a 34-0 victory in Alva, Oklahoma, over Northwestern Oklahoma State on Saturday afternoon. And Paul Simmons, you told me early in the season that you like road trips, and it seems like your football team is starting to really enjoy road trips as well. The longest trip of the year, and boy, did they ever play well on Saturday.
Well, they did. I tell you what, they really responded. I didn't tell the guys this all week, but all week I knew that was, in coaching terms, that was a big-time trap game. You know, anytime you come off of a victory over, you know, a rival like OBU, and you invest that much emotion into that, and then you come back and you make a 7-hour road trip and you play a really talented, dangerous team at their place, that's a bad situation usually. And so we talked about, we've got to be businesslike and come out and attack early, and we did that. And that was a dynamite win for us, and we needed it.
When you just said attack early, was that the difference in the game? The start to the football game, your defense really seemed like that it made a stand early on, and to get up 21-0 early.
No, I don't think there's any doubt about it. You know, that is a really talented team, but it also is a team that it kind of runs on emotion a little bit, which can be good and bad. I told the guys, I said, guys, if we let these guys get off hot, you know, they're going to get all kind of momentum going. We've got to start fast. And, the demeanor of their sideline changed drastically after Kimberlin's score. We're up 14-0 in the first quarter. And, really from there, it felt like all their energy was fake a little bit. And so the fast start was a huge key to it, really was.
First shutout since 2015. How much confidence going forward now could this give this defense?
Well, the thing about it is that was a really talented offense. Their quarterback has been torching people, and they've scored a lot of points versus everybody. I mean, going into the game, they were 8 points away from being undefeated, and they'd played most of the good teams in the league. And so, that was a giant deal for us. And Coach Moat, Coach Tribble, those guys have been investing crazy hours. I mean, if you walk in the field house in the morning at 5:30, those guys are going to be there, and that work's paying off. And there's no question that the confidence of our defense and our entire team just keeps on going up.
So it was a very good day on Saturday afternoon for the Bisons in Alva, Oklahoma, with the victory on Saturday. We'll come back and look at first and second quarter highlights right after this.
I like to eat apples and bananas. I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Back on this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons. Bisons a 34-0 victory on Saturday afternoon as we get ready to look at first half highlights. And it would be the Bisons the opportunity to defer to the second half, the option, and we would see Northwestern Oklahoma on the field early on. And you knew the challenge you had against this very good offense from Northwestern Oklahoma.
Yeah, quarterbacks are really talented, big receivers, and they do a great job scheming with the RPO, like right there. Of course, one thing that you can't tell by watching the video is the wind was roaring,
yes.
And that really played that was a big part of the football game, getting to kick the ball out of the end zone, and that really affected things big time.
Big play right here by Ben Trotter.
Gigantic play, Ben Trotter, and Devin Comer picks it off, and we're off to the races. I knew, Devin can really run. I knew he was gone, but Ben Trotter's a guy that was our starting DN in week 1, and his role's kind of gone down, but he keeps on working, and when he had a chance to make a play, he stood up big time, and boy, really, really proud of Ben. He had 2 deflections that both were really important plays for us, but that was a game changer for sure.
Northwestern Oklahoma, you talk about game changer because they were driving the football. The defense from that point on in the contest, it felt like your defense just dominated the football game. And here's Northwestern Oklahoma back with their second possession now.
Yeah, confidence and momentum is so important and hard to come by, and they had it, and we just stole it back, and we really never gave it back after that. It was kind of a bend but don't breaker. They made some plays, but
big sack right here by Dre
big
Smith.
Sack by Dre and
Sam Blankenship.
TJ's putting pressure on. TJ Winslow had a monster game. I mean, he was everywhere. Good job by Frank playing on one bounce, keeping the ball off the 1 yard line right there. Proud of him.
And now your offense, first time they've had the football right here, and a big play from Cole Chansey.
Yep, here comes Cole Chansey, and that guy's getting a little healthier, and his confidence keeps on going up, and fun to watch him play. And then this was kind of a dagger right here. You go up 14, and Grant can fly. I mean, that guy can fly. It's getting more and more evident how dangerous he is. 3 weeks in a row, over 100 yards, and those guys knew at that point, hey, we might be in trouble right here.
3 plays, 86 yards, very efficient on that drive. Only took 1:16 off the clock, and now 14-0 Bisons after Tristan Parsley continues to be perfect with the extra points. Northwestern Oklahoma with their third possession now.
I tell you what, if you notice right there, our D-line definitely had our best game of the year by far. We really knocked their old linemen backwards, and you had a bunch of guys grade out really high.
Tremaine Brock, Danny Harry had big games.
Tremaine Brock, Danny Harry, Tyler Thomas, just really a lot of them played really well, and some of the young guys that are really getting better, and it's exciting to see. I knew it would happen, and it's happening, and we're enjoying the fruits of the labor right there.
Move into the second quarter. Bison's 14-0. Now you talked about that wind. Now Northwestern Oklahoma will have the wind in their face in this second quarter.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Playing the wind, and we onside kicked twice in the ball game, and that was a big reason why. We knew that if we sky kicked, the ball might land on the 40-yard line. So that's kind of the rationale behind the onside kick, because we've middle dribbled 3 times in the last 2 weeks, and we've got 2 of them. So
first of 2 touchdowns on the afternoon from Brandon Gates.
Yep, we moved Brandon to be back on Monday, and he came out and rewarded that move. He was dynamite. He was awesome. I'm really, really proud of him. Got the onside kick right there, and that's 2 weeks in a row we got an onside kick and haven't made anything happen with it. So we got to fix that. There's the QB showing you how dangerous he can be right there. Talented guy. I wish he was a senior, but he's not.
Yeah, Isaiah Weed can throw the football. Very talented running the football as well.
Yep, he is. Well, they're driving down right here, and they're threatening, and giant play right there by Tremaine Brock. Sam picks the ball off, and poor guy, he takes the ball 85 yards, and we get a holding call that probably wasn't necessary, but was definitely the right call. But I hate it for Sam. He has been our warrior all year, and that was just a giant play. And some days the ball bounces your way, and right there is an example of that.
He had 14 tackles a week ago, 7 tackles on Saturday.
Yeah, he's one of the top 4 or 5 guys in the league, and I think he should be an all-conference guy. He's played really well.
So the Bison's up 21-0 here late in the first half.
Big sack right here, big sack. We get third and long, we come with 4 DNs, and those guys wrap and loop and move, and it's difficult really for the O-line to pick up on.
And so a 21-0 advantage for the Bisons at the half, and you had to feel good, Coach, going into the halftime locker room. And what was the mood in that locker room with the fact that you knew that you'd come on the road with this football team, a lot of young guys, and dominated the first half on the road?
Well, yeah, it was, the guys felt good about it, but we also left some stuff out there. we really felt like it could have been more. And I can promise you, watching their offense all year, I was really nervous until the middle of the fourth quarter because those guys can score points in bunches. They scored 50 against UAM, and so I was a long way from comfortable, I can promise you.
So the Bisons at the half up 21-0. We'll come back and look at the second half highlights right after this.
I wish I was in school. If only I had a math test today.
Or a book report to give.
I wish I was in school. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I'll do extra homework. I'll skip recess. I wish I was in school.
I wish I was in school.
I really wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back to Harding Football with Paul Simmons as the Bisons at the half at this point in our highlights, leading at 21-0 as we go into the third quarter, and the Bisons will get the football to begin the third quarter and put together a good drive here in the third quarter of play. And Coach, you'd mentioned it right before we went to break. You wanted more points here in the second half.
Oh yeah, I told the offense. I said, oh, this first drive is going to be really, really crucial. Those guys are over there trying to find some belief, trying to get the momentum back, and they don't believe we're for real. And this first drive is really important. And,
completion right there to Grant Kimberlin for 9 yards.
Yeah, I tell you what, kicking that ball right there into the wind, and Tristan. This is Tristan's second week in a row as a GAC
Special teams player of the week.
Yep. Yeah. With that win, we onside kicked again. I mean, why not? Not a lot to lose as strong as that wind was blowing, and that was a better kick, but they adjusted better that time.
And here's how dangerous Weed can be with an 11-yard rush after he had it knocked away.
Yeah, but look at the big-time play by TJ. I mean, just the effort, the club, when we had that ball recovered, he just didn't finish that off. Got a block in the back there and got lucky. They had, 25-yard run, but it was definitely a block in the back.
Bison's up 24-0 at this point. And now this is after the weather delay.
Yeah, the weather delay was a scary deal. We thought we weren't going to finish this ball game, and of course, here's Beyonce Williams always, showing what he can do. He's so dangerous. And right here, I said, "Why'd you stop? You had him outrun." He said, "Oh, Coach, I was trying to break his ankle." I said, "Break his ankles? Just go to the house." I don't think he saw the guy coming on the backside pursuit though. Here's Grant again, making the wrong cut, but just, when you got great speed, you can do that sometimes and get away with it. And he's dangerous now. 22
yards to close out the third quarter as we move into the fourth quarter. Bison's leading at 24-0.
Still was not comfortable a bit. Probably should have been, but had a little more faith in my defense. But
here's Brandon Gates again after Coach Hansey's 12-yard run, and then Brandon Gates 13 yards.
I felt better right then. Boy, Brandon he powered in the end zone. He took 3 or 4 guys with him, and that was very impressive.
Brandon, 54 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day.
Yeah, I had a big day for us.
Another pass deflection.
Yep, Ben Trotter, he's legit 6'5" and long, and that showed up. Big time 4th down stop right here. Shedrick Robinson in there making a play, and Ja'Cory Nichols, 2 young guys. Proud of those guys, and kind of get a glimpse right here of a young quarterback coming in and making some plays, looking good.
Preston Payton in the game right now.
Yep.
And Coach, he looked very comfortable running the offense.
He did. He looked good. I would not have any problem with him going in the game in a big situation.
And then Tristan Parsley will add on the field goal right there, 28-yard field goal.
I think our cover team kind of let down right here because the ball was so deep. You know, we should have had that guy inside the 5-yard line. Had a block in the back they kind of ignored. I think they were ready to go home, the officials, but anyway.
Yeah, this is late in the fourth.
Dylan Hampton, tackle for loss right there. Good job right there. And at this point, I'm telling the coaches, let's don't score. And they're, Coach, we just want to run the offense. I said, well, we don't need to score again right here. And I thought we were going to. Trey Allen ran the ball really hard, and it's a fine line because you want your young kids to play. You want them to have a chance to play, but you also, you know, you want to treat folks the way you want to be treated.
And the victory formation of the Bison's victorious by the final score of 34-0. Some dominating numbers, Coach, that I want you to talk about in the final statistics. And you held Northwestern Oklahoma to only 3 of 12 on third down. That's a very good football team coming in. They were 5th in the nation on third down percentage coming in.
Yeah, and the other part of that is we have not been good. You know, we were almost at the bottom of the league in third down defense, and they were at the top of the nation in third down offense. So that was a tremendous swing right there, and you know, for that offense that's been averaging about 450 a game to, you know, we give up 201 yards, about 80 yards rushing. You know, I'm really excited about the way the guys played. Super proud of them. You know, the staff all the way down to our GAs just put it together, and it was very impressive.
You had a pick 6 for a touchdown. You had one drive that lasted just over 1 minute, but still, the time of possession, you dominated. 37 minutes, 9 seconds to 22 minutes, 51 seconds. I know that's always a stat that's very important to this program.
It is, and you know, when those guys are so dangerous, you want them off the field. But you know, going into the game, I thought that would happen. You know, they were last in the league in time of possession, but they've been a big-time tempo team all year. But usually what happens when a team lives on tempo and they play us, they tend to go away from that because they know if they have a 3 and out and give the ball back, they won't see the ball back for quite a while. And so we got some tempo, but not as much as we normally do.
Red zone chances, I know, are always important. In the red zone 3 times, scored all 3 times. And then the flip side of that is the fact that Northwestern Oklahoma was in the red zone twice, and you turned them away both times. Yeah,
no doubt about it. And you know, we had tackles for loss, and then we had the takeaway that was huge. And I wish that we had a bye week so we could spend more time being excited about this performance because it was a good one for sure. But we don't. Time to go again.
Yeah, 400 yards on the ground and continuing that dominance there. 408 on the ground. Offensive line, Coach, for the second consecutive week, and really for 4 weeks in a row, they're really playing well. And I know it's a group that's had some injuries and playing well together.
Well, I tell you what, you know, every week we have an offensive player of the game, and it's a different guy usually every week. We try to spread it around, but you know, really every Saturday it could be our center. You know, he's just such a dynamite player. Bryce Bray, you know, he had 1 negative on the game, played almost every snap, and that's really unheard of. He's kind of the warrior leader of that group. Him and you know, Gavin and Greg, those other 2 seniors. But yeah, the O-line was dynamite again.
So again, the Bison's victorious 34-0, the final score on Saturday. We're going to come back after this break, look at the GAC standings. It's a very competitive league this year, and look forward to homecoming coming up, and also have a question from a fan for Coach right after this.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all. We approach this problem of re-employment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons. The Bisons victorious last week in Alva, Oklahoma, over northwestern Oklahoma. It's a big week. Homecoming week is this week at Harding after the Bisons have been on the road for the past 2 weeks, and it's time now to check out this week's question from a fan for Coach Simmons.
I'm here with freshman Clayton Beasley with this week's question for Coach Simmons.
Does this week being homecoming change your preparation for the team at all?
I'm Bailey Hedden with the Harding Sports Network. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Bailey, for that question. And Coach, homecoming week, what about it?
I tell you what, it's always an exciting time for us. I think Harding homecoming is probably different than most because this is really home for so many. The Bison Brotherhood, it just means the world to us, and because of the way we have young men that play for us that come from everywhere, and so a lot of our guys that are faithful Bisons don't get to come back every week, and when they do get to come back, it just means so much. And we obviously have a lot to play for, but playing well in front of the old Bisons that we know are going to come back, that love us, that are pulling for us, that send us texts and emails every week. Coach, we're praying for you. We love you. We're behind you. And then to get there and be with those guys, and it's just it's an exciting time for us. We want to play well. We want to represent well, and preparation doesn't change much, if any. The game is still really, really important, but there definitely is an added level of excitement. We'll have a giant tailgate party and a giant crowd, and we just have a little more motivation to come out there and represent and play well.
And the Walker brothers, I know that's such an important tradition for this football program, and the opportunity for football alumni to come back and join in with that.
Yeah, everything we can do in our power to make the old Bisons feel appreciated, feel wanted. I mean, I want those guys to know that they are so welcome around our program, in our locker room. We really are just standing on the shoulders of so many old Bisons that have made what we have now possible. What we have it is special. It's special, and there's a lot and lots of old Bison warriors that help make that possible. And so, for us to have a chance to be with them, to honor them, that's a big deal for us.
And at 11 a.m., it all gets started on the lawn. I know when you guys come through there with the Walker brothers, it means a lot to the football team, doesn't it, to see the lawn full?
Well, first of all, 11 a.m., that's not the beginning of the tailgate party.
Right.
The tailgate party starts as soon as you get there.
As soon as you get there, right, yeah.
You're not limited to 11 a.m. we hope by 11 it's rocking and rolling. But no doubt when our team, when those guys show up and that front lawn is covered, and it's been awesome. I mean, it's been awesome. If you guys have not been, you need to come. I mean, it's a great time, but that is a big time energy boost for us. It's big time for our recruiting when recruits and families show up and walk across that lawn and they see the people being excited about Harding football, and they're usually offered food at almost every tent there. That's a big deal because they can feel this place is different. This place is family. The energy has been fantastic, and I know it's going to be a good Saturday. I'm excited about it.
And this is a very big football game. Obviously, your football team's won 4 straight coming into homecoming. A little added excitement around homecoming with the fact that your football team is red hot in the conference standings, Coach. Everybody now with a loss. Southeastern Oklahoma lost last week. Then Tech, Ouachita, and Southern Arkansas each with 2 losses. And then UAM, the Bisons, and Henderson State at 4-3. What a race it really is in the Great American Conference.
Yeah, I've never seen the league be like this before ever. And it would be very foolish for me to talk about anything besides this week. But I can tell you, just based on the way this league has gone, it could have a crazy inning in the next 4 weeks. And, we just got to figure out how to win one ball game at a time. But there is a lot to play for. Let's just say that.
And, you know, you oftentimes talk about you enjoy going on the road. You enjoy the atmosphere on the road sometimes. Now, a road team, Southwestern Oklahoma, coming in here, they're going to see a good environment for college football on Saturday, which you would expect they'll be excited to come in here and play on Saturday.
Well, I hope you're wrong. I hope they travel less well than we do. You know, they've been close. You know, their coach is in his last year, and I think those guys probably want to play a little extra hard for him to finish out strong. I think that teams that travel to Searcy to defend the Flex Bone might be a little bit less excited because of that style of offense and what we do. And I would love to see those guys come in here with not much energy, but that's probably not what's going to happen.
Yeah, especially when they see. I mean, when teams do come in and they see the tailgating on the lawn, because, Coach, we don't see that everywhere that we go. When we go on the road and see that, it has to, you know, teams come in and they respect that.
Well, I can tell you that without a doubt, we have created the best game day environment in the GAC for sure, and I bet you one of the best in the country in Division II, and it's just getting better. But yeah, you know, when you go play somewhere and there's a really small crowd, it's just kind of an odd deal. Like Saturday. Saturday there was a really small crowd, and it was a little bit difficult creating energy. But you're right. Those guys come in here and they see our front lawn packed and people here, and you know there's an excitement level, and I think you're right. That is a factor.
All right, so again, the Bison's homecoming on Saturday. 2 o'clock is the start time, but Coach Simmons wants you there early on the lawn, so come out and tailgate.
You better get there early to save you a spot. They're going to go fast. You might want to go out there this evening and get your tent set up tonight and your grill going. It's not too early.
All right, Coach Simmons, it's always great to be with you. Congratulations on the victory this past week, and have a great week. We'll see you Saturday for homecoming.
Thank you, Billy.
All right, that's all the time we have for this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons. Again, don't forget, homecoming Saturday, the Bisons take on Southwestern Oklahoma at First Security Stadium. We'll see you next time.